Please understand something, those of you new viewers, new listeners. I am not here to be your friend, your buddy, or your fucking pal. I'm a man of a certain age. I've lived life. And I'm not one of these fugazi-ass niggas who feels the need to explain things to you, nor will I ever apologize to you for shit. So please know what you're watching and listening to.
All right. What is good, everybody? Thank you yet again for tuning into the channel. I'm your boy Zaya, back again. Social media platforms are represented on the screen, so be sure to follow me on any one of those. And we are back, man. This has been a video that has been requested by a few of y'all. After hearing some of the art of storytelling series. This art of storytelling series has been pretty cool, man, because it's allowed me to kind of go back and, you know, look at old footage and kind of fill in the blanks on some of the questions that you guys have had over the years, as far as different people that you may have seen on the channel. There were a lot of people that at one point in time, they were regulars on this channel. They were regular people in my life, in this whole sneaker life that I had created for myself. And eventually, you know, the tides would change, and a few of these people, you eventually didn't see them no more. And, you know, I think at the time I wasn't willing to talk as much about it as I am now. Now I really don't care. Like, I don't really have any malice towards anyone, any bad blood towards anyone. You know, I'm a firm believer that everything happens for a reason. Sometimes, you know, you just got to go through life, and sometimes you can't take everybody with you, man. And, you know, I'm also a firm believer in that, with that having to do with even family, bro. Like, there's family that, you know, I haven't spoke to in fucking years, and don't even care to speak to. You know, it's just how it is, man. You got to understand when to cut people off and when to continue to take them on. And it's just really based on what do they bring to your life, as far as, you know, positivity and energy and all that. And, you know, it just is how it is. So this has been a series that you guys have been able to get some questions answered. I've been able to kind of open, you know, eyes on some of the scenarios that was happening back then. And it's been, you know, a pretty cool experience. So you guys have started to ask about particular characters, and those characters being Kristinamanee and Piffnkicks. These were characters of my YouTube career story, in which I introduced you, my YouTube fam, to people that I was dealing with in actual real life. I want to go ahead and real quick. So Kristinamanee came through Katie. I believe the story was that Katie got invited to a concert by a supporter. The supporter liked her content. This, then the third, had been following her on social media, wanted to meet her, bought tickets to some concert. They go to the concert. They end up hitting it off. I remember Katie having a conversation with me in the very, very beginning, before I met Kristina. And she said that at the time that Kristina was from, I guess, a different section of Orlando, maybe a less popular section of Orlando. And I think she was somehow, I'm not 100% sure, and I want to be really sensitive with it because I don't want to disrespect nobody. Again, these series ain't about disrespecting nobody. It's sort of just getting the truth out there and filling in the blanks for you people. But I believe Kristinamanee may have had family that was gang affiliated, or she had a brother or a cousin that was gang affiliated, something of that nature. And I remember always telling Katie, well, just be careful, man. You know, hopefully Kristinamanee is the type of female that she can separate the gang stuff from, like, us, which we're just like normal people that collect shoes, that have like a little sneaker community. We go to events, we do videos, we be on YouTube, we be clowning. So hopefully she can separate the two, because I don't want to have that problem, you know what I'm saying? And I believe Katie reassured me that she was really nice. You know, I would like her. And eventually we, you know, Katie brought her into the fold, and Kristinamanee, you know, she made a little impact, and you know, eventually you guys would eventually follow her. I'm not sure where she's at now. I know after this particular fallout with Kristina, we didn't talk for quite some time. I ain't even gonna front. Once me and Katie broke up, I think I tried to reach out to Kristina, but Kristina didn't. She didn't necessarily respond. And then I think I tried to follow her on Instagram one time, and then she took a while to accept me, and then she did. And then after a while, I kind of was just looking at the vids, not the vids, but the pictures and shit. And at this point, she had a baby, man. So hopefully she's doing all right. You know, obviously the story is not to disrespect nobody. I'm not sure if she's going to be happy with the way this story goes, but you know, it's my truth and it's what happened in my scenario. Again, if she has an issue with that and she wants to respond, you know, I'll open up the platform for her to speak as well, if she chooses to. But Kristinamanee came through Katie. Now, Piffnkicks, I'm not 100% sure if I met Piffnkicks before I met Benny Blanco or if it was the other way around, but them two knew each other before I knew any of them. They were from Melbourne and they used to come all the way from over there to camp out at Florida Mall. And eventually, you know, through the years, we would become cordial, become cool. We did a few campouts together. In the campouts, you end up, you know, chilling with someone, talking, smoking. You chill, this, that, and the third. And then it became a scenario where he was an individual that I would invite to my house. Now, I'm a big person on not really inviting a lot of people to my house. Like, not everyone that I've known has always come to my house, and even Katie knew that. Like, yo, don't just be bringing random niggas. Remember, this was almost how I never met Preezy, because I wasn't willing to just let Preezy come to my crib. Some nigga from Cali, we meeting him for the first time, and he coming to our crib. Hell nah, bro. They see videos, they see that we have stuff. Like, you can't just be inviting anyone to your crib, and Piffnkicks was no exception, man. It wasn't until we got really, really cool that I started inviting him into my crib, and you know, and from there, I never had issues with him, man. He always seemed like a stand-up guy. He was always cool. The only thing I never liked about Piff is that the amount that Piff smoked. So I smoke weed, but like, I don't like to be high all fucking day. Piff is the exact opposite. Piff needs to be high the entire day. And I want to say then, I'm not sure how he is now. It's been a number of years since I've spoken to him. And I've said a few times while you guys requested this video that, you know, with him, I got jerked over money. And although he didn't directly jerk me, the jerking came through him. And because of that, like, I never felt the need to reach out to amend anything or nothing. Like, he's someone that, like I said, man, you just got to cut him loose. And, you know, life, your next stage of life is not supposed to have that character in it. No big deal. And I'm sure he feels the same way about me. All right. So that's how these two came into the fold. So now all this takes place Bel Air 5 weekend. And I'll go ahead and try to flash the date on the screen. But Bel Air 5 weekend, or going into Bel Air 5 weekend, I had put up pre-orders on my website. And at the time I had secured 5 pre-orders, 2 adults, 2 children, and another adult. So 3 adults, 2 children. I think they were doing raffles. I think I had filled out raffles. I think I was losing those raffles. And then I think I had got word that there was going to be a first come, first serve at DTLR in Hiawassee. For my Orlando heads, my people that are local that are listening, then you'll know what I'm talking about. So I end up finding out at the very last fucking minute. Remember, I think I'm going to a camp out where it's me, Katie. I might be able to get some other people. As all this is happening, I'm reaching out to people. Some of the people that would help camp out are not available. And then Katie hits me with some fucking random trip that she was taking to Chicago with her parents or some shit like that. So she was leaving that weekend. So now I'm like, damn, what the fuck am I going to do? Now I'm down to 1 person and I got 5 pre-orders that I got to make. So going into that weekend, Kristinamanee volunteered to chill with me during the weekend. And then we would go to the camp out and she would help me secure the pair. I think at the time Christina was talking about that she was fucking with some dude from New York and that he was in the stores and he had like a high title in the stores and he would be able to get me a pair. So the way that I saw it is that it was going to be me and Christina, and then hopefully we'd be able to get a men's and a kid size, and then her boyfriend would be the one to cover the 5th pair. So now what eventually happens is that I think her boyfriend sends her a message and says that the 5th pair is a guarantee. We're getting it. So I'm feeling a little better, you know what I'm saying? Now that, you know, I know that I may be able to just fill all these pre-orders and it's going to be a beautiful weekend. So now the way that Piff comes into this situation is that around that time, Piff was dating a girl that was pregnant. And I think by this time, I'm almost 100% certain, we had already determined that when the girl got pregnant, she and Piff were either separated or they were cheating on each other. So now he finds out there's a possibility that it could not be his kid. And I think going up until this weekend, he had already come to the determination that it wasn't his kid. So now although he knows it's not his kid, he is saying that he is going to help raise the kid. He is not going to leave the girl. They're going to stay together, yada, yada, yada. All right, cool. So that particular weekend, he was having a baby shower for her. Now, just so that I get this out, because I don't want to forget this part. And this part is, I feel it's an important part. But in the culture that I'm from, I'm Puerto Rican and Dominican. Baby showers are broken down into two parts. There's usually the first part where it's just all the chicks. And then there's usually the second part where it's just everybody. And usually the first part, as a man, you don't have to go to. So Piff has invited me. Piff has invited Kristinamanee. We're supposed to go. He knows that Katie can't make it. And he knows, I think he was even camping out for Bel Air 5s. So we already have come to the conclusion that we'll see them Saturday night. But for now, Friday going into Saturday, it was me and Kristinamanee chilling. So by this time, Katie's gone. Me and Kristinamanee, we get up to DTLR in Hiawassee. And when we get there, we end up becoming third and fourth in the line. Amazing spots. I still say to this day, amazing spots. There were two people in front of us and they were not getting the sizes that we were getting. So now remember, I got 5 pre-orders, right? Kristinamanee's boyfriend said that he's definitely 100% secure in 1 pair. So now I'm like, all right, cool. I just need 4 pairs, but the 4 pairs that I need are 2 adults, 2 children. So your boy's still sweating a little bit, but I go into the store and I speak to the manager. Manager tells me on this particular release, you will be allowed to get a men's size and a grade school size. So now 2 for me, 2 for Christina, and the one that Christina's boyfriend's gonna get, your boy's Gucci. All right, I'm out here. I'm in these streets. So I got my 5 pre-orders already set up, and I'm eager to, get the camp out started, man. I'm 3rd and 4th. I don't got nothing to worry about. So while we're at the camp out, there is these group of fucking kids, bruh, that are just causing all types of issues. Now, they're with people that are on the line, but they're not necessarily in the line. But they're just so loud, bro. They got music blaring out the car. They're like fucking yelling and screaming and all this. But to me, it was like, yo, like, I'm not really worried about them. I'm 3rd and 4th. They doing it off in the distance anyway. I'm not tripping. So eventually me and Christina just chill. We're smoking. And while we're doing this, we have a conversation, and this conversation is really important. So remember, Kristinamanee is cool with this situation because of Katie. Piff is cool through me. Piff invited me and Kristinamanee to the baby shower. At this time, Piff is, shouting out Kristinamanee on a regular. We're having a conversation, we're smoking, and Kristinamanee tells me, yo, what time you going to the baby shower? And I'm like, well, I'm going to go in the second part because the first part is just all chicks. Like, I don't really want to go to that one. So Kristinamanee tells me, yo, Piff invited me to the whole thing, the first and the second one. Is there any way that I could just say that my car broke down or something like that and just go with you to the second part? Because I don't really want to go to the first part. Like, I don't really know all those girls that are going to be over there. I just really know Piff. So I was like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? We'll just bullshit, man. We'll come up with some excuse. And that'll at least get you out of the fact that you got to go to the first part. We cool. We keep smoking. We're Gucci. We do the entire camp out. We make it to the morning. It is now around 8 o'clock. The store opens at 10. And the shoes are supposed to release at 10 on the dot. When we get there, well, we're already there. When the manager shows up. When the manager gets there, she gets there at 8. And she tells me that there was some sort of confusion in the system or whatever the case may be, and that they weren't releasing the shoes until 5 p.m. So now remember, we just did a full night camp out, and now it's looking like we're going to have to do almost half a day or almost a complete day camping out in front of the store. We're super tired, swamp ass galore. The manager literally looks at me and Christina and is like, listen, I remember you guys. I remember y'all from last night. I seen you this morning. If you'd like to go home and take a shower and come back, you're more than welcome to. I remember that you guys are in this spot. So now that was something that she offered to the first two guys, us two, and then I believe the next two guys. The rest of the people, they weren't really paying attention. At the same time, remember, there's not a lot of pairs of Bel Air 5s. So there was definitely a lot of people on the line that weren't going to get pairs. All right, so at this point, Christina doesn't live near me. Christina lives closer to where DTLR is. I live out the way. So what I do is I drop Christina off and then I head home. It takes me about 35-40 minutes to get home from DTLR in Hiawassee. I remember pulling up, parking, and as I'm walking up my steps, I get a call from Kristinamanee. So now the night prior when we were smoking with a few different people, and one of them ended up being a girl that worked inside DTLR. She actually had that morning shift. She was just chilling there at night with another person that was there, and we smoked, and she told us that she would let us know when she got inside the store how many pairs there were. It's like, all right, cool, we could do that. Just keep us posted. So Christina tells me that girl is the one that called her to let her know that the kids that were making all that racket the night before, the companies, the businesses that were in that plaza, they decided to call the cops on those people. When the cops came, I guess they forced the release of the shoes. I'm not sure how that works, but that was the story that was told us. They forced the release of the shoes. Cool. So I'm like, all right, cool. But remember, the girl told us that she saw, so more than likely she's holding the 4 pairs. Kristinamanee tells me, no, all the pairs are gone. The girl told me that there's no more pairs, that she just saw the last person walk out with a pair. And I'm like, all right, well, just let me get down there, because remember, the manager said that she's seen us. I honestly thought that the manager took the pairs and put them to the side. The system that was in play, the manager had already taken down the sizes the night before. So she already knew the sizes of the individuals in line. She was looking at IDs, all that, to make sure. I even think that there was a list inside the store. So I end up going down there, and on my way down there, Christina tells me, yo, don't even pick me up. Just go directly to the store and figure it out, and I'll make my way over there. And I'm like, all right, cool. So I go to the store, and as soon as I walk up to the store, manager looks at me and smiles. And I'm like, yo, what happened? And she tells me the story of how the kids were acting up. And I was like, yeah, those kids were acting up, this, that, and the third. And she's like, all right, yeah, the police forced us to release the shoes. And I was like, all right, cool. Like, did you hold my pairs? And she's like, no, the police forced us to release all the pairs. And I'm like, yeah, but you told me that I could leave. I understand that the police came and told you to release the pairs, but you couldn't have said to the police that there were 4 pairs that had to be held for people that just left. And she told me that obviously she couldn't do that. So now I'm stuck between a rock and a hard place, because I'm tight that the pairs got released and I didn't get the pairs. Remember, I got 5 pre-orders that are counting on this. Right now, we only have 1 pair secured through Kristinamanee's boyfriend. So I'm a little tight, bro. And I'm not sure if the manager started to panic, if the manager kind of saw and thought that something could happen, or if the manager just didn't give a fuck. But the manager told me, hey, listen, this is what I could do. I know the manager to the DTLR down in Tampa. They're doing their release at 5 p.m. So if you want to, I'll call him and I'll let him know that you're coming down there for those pairs. And I was like, really? She's like, I'll make the call right now. She's like, yo, but don't forget your chairs. And I'm like, all right, cool. So while she's making the phone call, I go and grab the chairs and I put them in the car. When I come back to the store, as soon as I open the door, she's like, yo, you're good. And she gives me the thumbs up. Sweet. I hit up Kristinamanee. Kristinamanee had something to do real quick. I had to take her to go do it. And then we made our way down to Tampa. I remember pulling up to the DTLR in Tampa and the parking lot just being fucking insane. People everywhere. And I'm just like, yo, this shit is wild. So now, if you know the sneaker market of today, usually on release day for most shoes, because of like StockX and GOAT and things like that, the market actually tanks on those days. The price goes like really low, damn near to you're looking at pairs sell on StockX and you're like, nigga, that ain't even like $4 made. Like, why would people sell it for that? But It happens. Back then, there was no StockX and there was no GOAT. So the Bel Air price actually was going up. Remember, already the 10 o'clock releases all over America had already happened. So now niggas that ain't get it is paying top dollar, and that shit is shooting up. The good old days, man. I love StockX in one way, but in another way, it's almost a curse. So cool. We're rolling up to the line. So we rolling up to the line in Tampa, right? Listen, mind you, the trip is about an hour from here to the location, maybe a little more. So we get down there, we're rolling up. I see the homie Fresh Souls. What up, dog? He tells me, yo, what's going on? I'm like, yeah, you know, coming to pick up my pairs. I'm thinking I'm big shit, bro. So I roll up to the front of the line, and I end up meeting the manager, the name of the manager that the manager in Hiawassee gave me. So I'm like, hey, you know, I'm here to pick up those pairs. He's like, pairs? What pairs? I'm like, the pairs of Bel Air 5s, you know, it's supposed to be this size, that size, that size, this size. He's like, all right, well, you got to grab a number. So the part is that when I was walking in, remember, there's a shitload of people out there. So when I'm walking in, they're giving out tickets to people. And I remember that at the point that we walked up and we grabbed tickets, the dude was already telling people as he handed you the ticket, there's not going to be enough pairs for this ticket. You might not want to stay here. So when the manager told me to grab a number, in my mind, I'm like, nigga, but that nigga's telling everybody that there ain't going to be no pairs for that. Like, I don't think you understood me. The manager in Hiawassee told me to come down here. You was going to take care of me. Remember when she said, I'll make that call, don't forget your chairs? I'm almost certain the bitch ain't call nobody. Because that nigga didn't know what the fuck I was talking about. He did not know of any manager calling him for nothing. The manager from fucking Hiawassee fucking jerked us. Sent us on a wild goose chase all the way to fucking Tampa for nothing. So at this point, I know we ain't getting no pairs, man. I reconfirmed with Kristinamanee about the one that her boyfriend's supposed to get. She tells me it's a go. I'm like, all right, cool. So I'm like, all right. Remember, we're supposed to be going to Piff's baby shower. So I didn't tell Piff about not going to the first part. I took it upon myself that me growing up, I never had to go to those first parts. That's always for the chick. All right, so I end up going home, and I have a little bit of time to just chill and hang out. And the problem was that I was in a real bad mood, man. All these pre-orders had tanked. I was gonna remember I took it at pre-ordered prices, so I was gonna have to give back niggas a lot of money. I think I had already been spending the money, which is like numero uno, number one. Don't be spending the pre-order money beforehand. Very valuable lesson. So I remember not wanting to go, and I remember Kristinamanee not wanting to go, and her telling me, yo, I'm really tired. You know, I didn't really get a lot of sleep because we just got back. You know, I don't think I'm gonna go. And I'm like, I don't think I'm gonna go either. So if you want to, just come here tonight, and worst case scenario, if we feel up to it, then we'll go, and if not, we'll still chill and hang out. So that it was like, all right, cool. Now, the homie, Benny Blanco, hits me up, and he asks me if I'm going to this baby shower. And I'm like, yeah, I'm supposed to be going to the baby shower. But I'm not sure. You know what I'm saying? I'm feeling a certain type of way. My Bel Air shit sank. I'm tight. I'm going to have to cough up mad bread. And at the time, me and Benny, we weren't in negotiation for a particular shoe. And it's a shoe that I wanted like badly, and he was giving me a hard time about selling it to me. But at this particular day, he was a little broke, so he needed some cash. So he's like, yo, I'm willing to do that deal with you if you come to the baby shower, because I'm going to be there. You know, I'll take the shoes with me. So don't get me wrong, even though my day was fucked up from the Bel Air 5s, I didn't want to go nowhere. I was tight. You know, one of the main reasons that I was tight was that I didn't want to go over there and have an attitude or, you know, have a bad aura about me and then someone else sees it. You know what I'm saying? Remember, you know, this is not Piff's kid, but Piff is showing the initiative to take care of this kid that he almost 100% feels that it's not his. Or I don't know if it was determined already, if the girl told him that she knew that it was the other dudes. But you know, he's standing up for it, right? You know what I mean? He's standing on his own too, and he gonna take care. So, you know, I have respect for that, man. I ain't want to come and then it be about Zaya and his bad attitude at the baby shower instead of it being about the baby shower. You know what I'm saying? But when Benny hit me up and he told me he was gonna do that deal, it sort of like gave me like a little bit of new life. Like, all right, well, you know, this whole Bel Air 5 shit fucked up, but maybe this is good luck now turning around for me, because the shoe that Benny got, I've been wanting it for a minute. So I'm like, all right, cool. So I determined that I'm gonna go. I start to get ready. I get my son ready. I'm about to leave. Now, from when I had the conversation with Benny to when I'm about to leave is about 2-3 hours. And Benny had told me he was already on his way over there. Cool, bro. I'll see you in a few. I get a call from another individual, and the other individual tells me that that if I was coming to the baby shower, because he had saw me post something about it, and if I knew that I had an issue with Piff. And I'm like, yeah, I'm supposed to be going to the baby shower, and what issue with Piff? Like, I don't have no issue with Piff. Like, why would I come to his baby shower if I had an issue with him? He's like, oh, well, he was here with Benny earlier, and they did a deal on some shoes, and Benny said that he was waiting to do the deal for Zaya, and Piff's response was that, fuck Zaya, he's not coming, just do the deal with me. Now, believe me, I'm baffled. I'm not understanding why that's Piff's response. So I'm like, all right. So I hit up Benny. When I speak to Benny, Benny tells me, yeah, Piff said, fuck you, that you wasn't coming to the baby shower to just do the deal with him, and I really needed the cash, so I just did the deal. So I was like, yo, that's kind of fucked up. I was like, all right, fuck it. You know what I'm saying? I ain't even sweating it, man. Don't even worry about it. So when I get off the phone, I don't know what the fuck's going on. So I leave it at that, man. You know, I'm not sweating that shit. You know what? Something's up. I just won't go to the baby shower like I planned to. I had already spoke to Kristinamanee. She wasn't going. And I think I had called her a few times and she didn't pick up. So the next day comes, and this is now Sunday. And when Sunday comes, you know, I'm trying to figure out what the fuck's going on. By this time, I'm talking to Katie. Katie is telling me shit that she heard through Kristinamanee. And there's a little bit in the air right now about, you know, shit that's being spoken. So I'm like, all right, cool. But what's being said isn't really what's matching up. Eventually, me and Piff would have a conversation, and I would come to find out that Kristinamanee went to the event. When she went to the event, Kristinamanee's idea was that she didn't want to go because she didn't know those girls. At the time, she didn't even know Piff like that. She knew Piff through us. That's where their connection came from. All right. So I eventually find out that Kristina went to the event before I did, and then told niggas at the event that I had no plans to come. You know, that why the fuck should I come to a baby shower that was for a baby that wasn't even Piff's? So now I'm not in total denial of saying these things. I am saying that they weren't said in the context in which she used it. She used it in a context to make me look bad, when the original conversation was just a back and forth between us, like, you know, like some dumb shit that you would ask a friend, like, yo, like, do we got to bring a gift, like, if it's not his baby? You know, like, imagine if we didn't go because it was, you know what I'm saying? Like, it was that type of talk. She turned it around and she told Piff that was like something that I said directly. So remember, Piff's feeling some type of way, and he eventually that's what leads to, you know, him saying fuck me at the party. So now that's not the only part that's playing out for the situation with Piff. Piff got me and Katie months before this, leading up to this. Piff got us in contact with someone who was running some schemes. And like I said before, man, Piff ain't hold a gun to nobody's head. Like, it wasn't, we weren't forced to do anything. Piff just introduced the person. The person introduced the scam. The scam, I eventually did it. I'm not sure if I want to say what the scam is. But let's just say I did the scam. So I did the scam a few times, and it was flawless. Yo, like that, bro. And every step on how it was supposed to be done was done the same way each time, and it was always the end result. And we would make a few bucks. It was nothing crazy. So on the very last time that we did it, which I'm almost 100% sure that at this point, Katie had already said, yo, we shouldn't do it no more. Fuck that. Don't do it no more. Like, and I think because I'm seeing, Piff's my boy. I'm seeing the dude do it like that. It's super easy. I said, yo, no, fuck it. Let's do it again. And this time, it backfired. So there's a last part to the scam in which your name gets erased, the money that's scammed gets erased, and then you would start all over. When we got to that part, the amount wasn't erased. So now it looked like I had a bill, and the bill was for some hefty bread. Not too hefty. We're not talking about like hundreds of thousands of nothing shit. We're talking about maybe like a G, 1,500, a few times. So I remember that leading up to this, I was telling Piff, yo, what the fuck's going on, man? The last part where our names get erased, it's not getting erased. What's going on? And Piff told me, I've already spoke to the dude. The dude said that he's going to take care of it, this, then the third. And I'd be like, yo, but the dude's been ducking me. Like, every time I call him, he gives me the runaround that it's going to get fixed. And it doesn't get fixed. What's going on? Like, we need to figure this shit out. And I remember Piff telling me, listen, he's going to be at my baby shower. When you get here, we're going to address him face to face. And I said, all right, cool. So now remember, I didn't go to that baby shower. I think we got to Monday. And Monday is when the full story. I think Sunday we were just getting little parts of the story. And then Monday is like when the full story was already in place. And what it was is that Kristinamanee went to the party. She pretty much threw me under the bus. That's 100. There's no way around that. She threw me under the bus. She gave a false impression of me not wanting to go. Remember, I just didn't want to go to the first part. And there was a point at which I didn't want to go to the second part. But the whole situation with Benny kind of uplifted me and made me want to go. So I believe after talking to Piff, getting all the information out, I defended myself. I told him, no, I wasn't like that. But there was something that Piff said that really like kind of ticked me off a little bit. And what Piff said was that I was lucky that I didn't come that night, because had I come that night, his plan was to open the door and then slam it in my face. Granted, he would have been mad because something Kristina told him that was untrue. But the problem that pissed me off was that I had my son that night. So I told him, yeah, nigga, but like I had my son that night, bro. You wouldn't have done that to me. And he was like, yeah, nigga, I would have did it to you in front of your son. And I was like, what? You would have slammed the door in front of my son? And he was like, yeah. And that was the part that I couldn't let go. And I was just like, all right, nigga, so I'm saying that you wouldn't have done it. So it's on site, nigga. Like, when we see each other, then we'll see what's up. And that tension grew from there. Now, eventually I would throw a few shots at him. He was always talking about he was going to do something when he see me, and he ain't never do nothing. There was one time that it was set. Well, when I see you up at that event, and I was like, all right, nigga, I'm going to be there. I went with Katie. I went with someone else. We got to the event. We ended up going out back, almost scrapping. And at the end of the conversation at the event, he told me that he tried to get that stuff removed, the scam part that had got us caught up. And I told him, well, I've called the dude mad times. You telling me one thing, the dude telling me one thing. Piff eventually got on the phone that day. He spoke to the dude. The dude said that he would call me back. So I'm like, all right, cool. So in the back of my head, I'm still thinking this shit could get fixed. You know, I was a little tight about the part where he said that he would slam the door in my son's face. But at this point, I wasn't trying to, you know, I didn't really give a fuck about my credit, but this shit could affect credit, and I didn't want it to fuck up Katie's credit. So I'm still trying to figure this shit out. You know what I'm saying? Because at the event, that was the closest that we came to scrapping, and it was about to go down. Had some security not got in the way. My every intention was to swing on him. And as soon as I got like the part where I was gonna chin check the shit out this nigga, I saw security coming around the corner, and I ain't want to just. I'm not trying to go to jail, bro. I'm always down for a scrapping in the back and nobody knows, and we done scrapping and we go back in and we Gucci. I'm not down for a scrapping that's gonna lead to me going to jail. I can't afford it, man. I don't want to be in jail. So eventually the dude called us and he said that he would fix it, and it never got fixed, man. Never. He would give us the runaround. This, that, and the third, and by that time, like it was already too deep with Piff to just to reconcile on that. I didn't like the fact that he said that he would slam the door in my son's face, in my face. So I was like, man, fuck this nigga, bruh. You know what I'm saying? Like, fuck out of here. How you gonna do that to me if I'm your boy, regardless if I came to your baby shower or not? You know what I'm saying? Again, you know, not to sound fucked up, but it wasn't even your motherfucking baby. You know what I'm saying? So for you to say that you was gonna slam the door in front of my son's face, in front of my face, and I have my son with me, nah. And then that whole shit. Listen, I'm a person that if you dick me over money, bruh, it's just hard to trust, bruh. I don't like it, bruh. I really don't. And in that situation, I felt like I got dicked over. You know what I'm saying? Because there's a part of the scam where I gotta give something. When I give something, that shit's, they make money off of that. More money, way more money than I get paid. So to me, it was just like, all right, nigga, what I gave you, just give it back and I'll get this shit fixed. And it never got fixed, man. It never got fixed. I felt like he didn't give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? I felt like after a point, he didn't give a fuck. He knew that the scam had fucked up and he knew it fucked up on me, and it wasn't like he was going to help at all. Now, I'm a different type of individual. If I put you in a scam, nigga, and you get caught up in the scam, I feel every obligation to try to help you get out that scam. 100%. That's just me. And that's when I realized that me and him were different characters, man. He wouldn't do for me. He wouldn't cross that boundary for me. He wouldn't go far and beyond for me like I would for him. And that's when I realized that it just couldn't be, man. You know what I'm saying? I think I seen Piff maybe 2 times after this all thing has gone down. And, you know, I think we've been at the same sneaker event on one occasion. You know, it ain't beef or nothing like that. I don't got issues with him or nothing like that. You know, at this point in time, you know, how the scam and all that shit went down, really, it sound fucked up. It really affected Katie more than it affected me, bro. At the time, I had shit credit any motherfucking way. Katie was the one that I think had to go and repair credit and do all types of shit to get all that shit taken off. You know what I'm saying? And I always felt kind of bad about it. You know what I'm saying? The situation with her getting involved. But let's put it this way. I felt bad to an extent because she offered to do it. When he came up with the idea, I didn't tell her, yo, you got to do it. No, I said, all right, I'll do it. And she said, yo, I'm going to do it too. And when it was time to get paid, she got paid her own individual money. So it's not like they paid me for her. For me using her to do the scam, they paying me. Nah, she got paid her own money. And I got paid my own money. So when it all went downhill and her shit fucked up, you know, she was, as much as I am the one that introduced her, she's the one that went through with it. You know what I'm saying? So it wasn't like the same situation with Piff where I felt like, damn, nigga, you should help me. Like, it wasn't the same situation with her. You know what I'm saying? Like, you wanted to do this as much as I did. Plain and simple. So, yeah, man, that's how literally it went down with those 2 individuals, man. And eventually, you know, Kristinamanee, you know, I think she eventually, you know, her and Katie stopped talking because of that. You know, it was fucked up. And then on top of that, Kristinamanee flaked on the pair that her boyfriend was supposed to get me, bruh. She came with some bullshit excuse on Monday morning, bro. And by that time, I was fed the fuck up. I told Katie, don't ever bring that fucking broad to this house, man. I wasn't like, yo, you can't be cool with her. You could be cool with her. I just don't want her in here, bro. I don't trust that girl. And from then, I didn't really trust her, bro. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. And, you know, that relationship had to go. I had to cut that shit the fuck off. And Katie didn't want to chill with her after that. Katie was just like, fuck that. If you ain't chilling with her, I ain't chilling with her either. Fuck it. And, you know, we just cut her off. And then the whole Piff situation never worked itself out, so we just kept it trucking, and that was it, man. And that was the last you've seen of those individuals on this channel. So hopefully you guys could appreciate the story. For those that wanted to know how that went down, that is the situation of how it went down. Again, the platform is always open for any of those individuals to rebuttal. And if not, then at least I've told you my truth. With that being said, I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. Everybody stay fresh, and I'll catch y'all on the next vid. Peace.